Hello friends, welcome to my channel Clinical Biochemistry by Dr. P.K. Prabhakar. Today we are going to talk about transamination. Earlier we have already done the basic properties of physicochemical properties of amino acids. The video links I will put in the description box. If you have not seen the video, you can watch that video. So one of the important properties of the amino acids are the transamination reactions. And as its name suggests, it is a transamination reaction. So it is a kind of you can call it reverse amination. So we are having both deamination as well as amination. We will see further what is this one. What is transamination reactions? So before that one, we should see the structure of amino acids. So this is the basic structure of amino acid, in which we are having acid group as well as the amino. The transamination reaction is we are first going to remove the amino group from the amino acids. So if you will remove the amino group from the amino acids, so ultimately this group will be removed and this ketonic group will be formed. So amino acid is going to be converted into keto acids. So once after the removal of amino group, amino acid converted into keto acids. So this is our amino acid and this is a keto acid, corresponding keto acid. If you see the transamination's definitions, the transamination is the transfer of amine group means NH2 groups, from one amino acid to a keto acids, and thus creating a new amino acid in the keto acids. So by seeing example, we can better understand what is transamination reactions. So first, in case of transamination reactions, we are having amino acid which removes its amino group, and ultimately the amino acid will be converted into keto acids, which already we have seen. After the removal of amino groups, amino acid is going to be converted into keto acids. This NH3 ammonia will be taken by a keto acids, and this keto acid is converted to the corresponding amino acids. So there is a transfer of amino groups from this amino acid to this keto acids. So from here amino group will be removed and this will take that keto acids. So ultimately this amino acid is converted to keto acids and this keto acid is getting converted to amino acids by taking that ammonia or amino group. This reaction is not happens without the involvement of enzyme. So it requires an enzyme. That name of the enzyme is transaminase. So there are different types of transaminases we are having. Now, whatever keto acids we are going to form, what is the significance of those keto acids? These keto acids will have different types of usage, various significance of various type of fates this is having. One of the important fate of keto acids are it is used for the energy source. It gives us energy by Krebs cycle. So I will show you how it is going to gives us energy. Then this keto acids also used for the synthesis of glucose through gluconeogenesis process, where pyruvate is a keto acids which can be used, oxaloacetate can be used. These are the different keto acids which we are using for the synthesis of glucose through gluconeogenesis process. The video already I have uploaded for the gluconeogenesis process, that also you can watch it. Then it is diverted for the formation of fat or the ketone body, and ketone body is one of the important biomolecules of our body which can be used for the energy source. Other than this one, this keto acids also involved in the production of for some of the non-essential amino acids. Essential amino acids normally we can get through the diet, but for non-essential amino acids normally we synthesize it in our body. So for those synthesis normally we require this keto acids. So these are the different significant different kind of importance of the keto acids. If you see the keto transamination reactions in the details, so this is amino acids which is having a amino group in this place. So this amino group is going to be removed from this amino acid. So ultimately we are having a ketone body for ketone formations. So this amino acid is converted to a keto acid by the removal of ammonia. And this ammonia will be taken by another keto acid. So this is different keto acids which is ammonia and converted into amino acids. And this again enzymes is going to involve, that is either we are going to call transaminase or it is also called as aminotransferase because it transfers the ammonia from one amino acid to the keto acids. So it is called as aminotransferases. Now, if you see the details in the more mechanistic how this transamination reactions occurs. So first, similarly, amino acids is going to release its ammonia, converted to keto acids, and ammonia will be taken by this transaminases by keto acids and converted to amino acids. But directly, this ammonia or amino groups will not be taken by from this amino acid to the keto acids. So this requires this transaminase or aminotransferase enzymes requires some kind of cofactor, some kind of um, ammonia acceptors. So those cofactor you can call it. It is pyridoxal phosphate. In this pyridoxal phosphate, this is the structure of pyridoxal or phosphate, or in short form we are calling PLP. This is PLP or pyridoxal phosphate. In this PLP, we are having a aldehyde group. This aldehyde group, in the first reactions, it accepts the ammonia and converted into pyridoxamine phosphate. So here you can see this ammonia has been taken. In the second reaction, so first reaction is this amino acid reacts with pyridoxal phosphate. So ammonia will be removed from here and it will be associated with this aldehyde groups, and ultimately pyridoxal phosphate will be converted to pyridoxamine phosphate, and this amino acid converted to keto acids. In the second reactions, this keto acids takes this ammonia and pyridoxamine phosphate will be converted to pyridoxal phosphate back because it loses this ammonia, and ammonia will be taken by this keto acids and this keto acid converted to amino acids. So this is a two-step reactions where in the first step pyridoxal phosphate takes ammonia from the amino acids and converted into pyridoxal phosphate, and amino acid will be converted to keto acids. In the second step, ammonia will be taken by keto acids and converted to amino acids. These are the two important reactions. So this is the overall reactions where like we are having amino acid 1 which releases its ammonia, and ammonia will be taken by this pyridoxal phosphate. So this pyridoxal phosphate converted into pyridoxamine phosphate and amino acids by releasing ammonia converted to keto acids. Then in ultimately this pyridoxamine phosphate releases this ammonia and gives to the keto acids, and keto acid converted into amino acids. So this is a overall reaction of transamination reaction where two-step process is going to happen with the involvement of pyridoxamine phosphate. Every amino acids for having a transamination reactions normally except few amino acids. We are going to see there are some of the silent features of the transamination reactions. First and most important thing is all the transamination reactions are the reversible reactions. So everywhere you have seen the reactions are in the reversible order. So this all the transamination reactions are the reversible. Second, all transamination reactions require pyridoxal phosphate or PDLP as a coenzyme, which is a derivative of vitamin B6. So every transaminase enzyme requires pyridoxal phosphate as a cofactor, which helps in the transfer of ammonia from amino acid to the keto acids. This specific transaminase enzyme exists for each amino acids. So roughly we are having 20 amino acids. All the 20 amino acids does not participate in the transamination reactions. Roughly 16 or 17 amino acids participates in the transamination reaction. So roughly we are having 16, 17 pair transaminases enzyme exist. Those transaminases are specific for amino acids and the keto acids pair. Most important two transaminase enzymes are the most important, which we are having multiple uses, different uses, as in not only in the evaluations but for the diagnostic purposes also. Those are aspartate transaminases and alanine transaminases, which is having a significant contribution in the transamination reaction. It is having some diagnostic uses as well. When in these transamination reactions, no free ammonia is going to be liberated, as it is seen in the deamination reactions. In the deamination reactions, only half of the transamination happens. Means amino acids releases its ammonia and convert into keto acid. That is called as deamination reactions. But in this case, not only it is deamination, second part is called as amination reactions, where ammonia will be taken by keto acids and converted to amino acids. So no free ammonia is going to be liberated only transfer of amino groups occurs from the amino acid to the keto acids. So no free ammonia is going to be released. This reaction, transamination reactions, is having a very important role in the redistribution of amino groups. Means one amino acids to a keto acids and from keto acids to the different. So redistribution of amino groups, ammonia will be taken by these processes. And this is also having an important role in the synthesis of non-essential amino acids, as we have already told you, depending on our body's requirement. Because essential amino acids we can get through the diet from the external sources, but non-essential we have to synthesize in our body. So for that, this synthesis of non-essential amino acids, we require keto acids. So there, this transamination process is having a significant role. It diverts the excess amino acid towards the energy generation. We will see in the details how this transamination reactions helps us in the energy productions, energy generation. The amino acids undergo transaminations to finally concentrate nitrogen in the glutamate. So if you see most of the cases, most of the transamination reactions, final ammonia acceptor, amino acceptor is the glutamate. So glutamate accepts ammonia in normally in almost all the cases. So glutamate is the not is the only amino acids that undergo oxidative deaminations. In this significant to release free ammonia. Ultimately, during the transamination reactions, ammonia or amino groups is going to be transferred from amino acids, and finally we are going to get glutamate. So glutamate is the final ultimate acceptors of the ammonia from the or amino groups from amino acids. So glutamate is going to form. This glutamate is going for the deamination reactions. Roughly, if we'll see all the amino acids, whatever we are having in our body pool, 50 to 60% of the amino acids pool is formed by glutamate and glutamine. So glutamate or glutamine roughly forms 15 to 20, 15 to 6, 50 to 60% of the amino acid pool. So that is roughly much more, means rest of the amino acid only 50%, and only these two amino acids contribute 50%. So this glutamate is going for oxidative deaminations, where it releases ammonia, and ammonia will be excreted by urea synthesis from our body. All amino acids except lysine, threonine, proline, and hydroxyproline does not participate. Rest 17 amino acids participate in the transamination reactions. So these three amino acids, lysine, threonine, proline, and proline derivative, that is hydroxyproline, does not participate, does not go for transamination reaction. So we don't have any kind of transaminase for these three amino acids. Transamination, again, it is not restricted only for alpha amino acids, as we are most of the cases in our protein synthesis we are using only alpha amino acids. So it does not restricted, does not limited only to the alpha amino acids. Even other type of amino acid, beta amino acids, gamma amino acids is going for transamination reactions. Like example is delta amino group of ornithine is going for transaminations. So not only alpha, other amino acids also go for transamination reactions. And transamination is having a significant role in diagnostic and the prognostic purposes. Like I have told you, SGOT, SGPT used as the marker for cardiac, for the hepatocytes, for muscles. So different the use of different enzymes we are using, especially transaminases we are using for different types of markers. Some of the few examples we will see in the details. Like one of the most important, I have told you two important transaminases we are having, that is alanine transaminases and aspartate transaminases. In this alanine transaminases, the keto acids, this is going to react between the, this is our amino acids, where alanine is going to react with the keto acid. This is our keto acid. So this is amino acid and this is keto acid. This amino acid releases its ammonia, amino group, and it will be converted into pyruvate. So the this is amino acid and its corresponding keto acid is the pyruvate. This amino group will be taken by this keto acids, alpha ketoglutarate, and ultimately it is going to be converted into glutamate. As I have told you, the ultimate amino groups acceptor is the glutamate. Similarly, this is in case of alanine transaminases. Similarly, if you see the aspartate transaminases, there also the reaction occurs between the aspartate, that is our amino acids. So this amino groups is going to be released from the aspartate, and ultimately it is converted into a keto acid, that is oxaloacid. So this is the corresponding keto acids of the aspartate. that amino acids, amino groups will be taken by alpha ketoglutarate and ultimately converted into glutamate. So again, here also it is the finally ultimate amino acceptance. And in both the cases, PLP is the cofactor, which is helping in the amino groups transfer from amino acid to the keto acids. This glutamates, normally I have told you, it is used as an energy source. So roughly 10 to 15% of the energy production of our body is through amino acids. So in that case, this glutamate normally going for oxidative deaminations. Oxidative deamination is the oxidations will occur, means it releases H hydrogen also, so that is oxidations, and deamination, it releases their amino group. So ammonia will be released. This ammonia is ultimately converted into urea, because ammonia is for our body, it will be excreted through urea productions, and ultimately we are going to get a keto acids, that is alpha ketoglutarate. And you know this alpha ketoglutarate is a substrate for, it is one of the intermediate of TCA cycle, Krebs cycle. So this will enter into Krebs cycle and use as a energy source. So it gives us amino acids, gives us you can be used as an energy source through alpha ketoglutarate, and it gives us energy. So this is all about the transaminations. In our next video we will talk about the different types of deaminations. So that's all for today. Hope you have understood it. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. If you have any questions, any comments, you can write in the comment box. You can talk to me. You can send your query in any of the channels, any of the social media, so you will get response. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.